What's going on, y'all? So listen. What's going on, y'all? So, girl, we back again for another episode review of Divorce Sistas Season 1, Episode 3. Girl, this is actually kind of good. I ain't even gonna hold you. You know something? It gotta be keeping my attention for me to be doing these reviews like back to back. And it's gagging me at the end of each one, to be quite honest. It's not even that much, but it's really kind of good. I ain't even gonna hold you. But no. So we get up into the episode 3, right? Girl. Girl. A lot of this stuff is just a mess. Let me tell you something. Jovan is gonna cause some trouble. Okay. And Geneva, it's just about time that you just go ahead and at this point, you just got to go ahead and tell the truth, okay? You have got to break the news to your husband that you was cheating on him, all right? You was cheating on him, and it's a possibility that baby is not his, all right? Baby, William went up there to go put little Anika to bed, had to read her little bedtime story or whatever, and then he come downstairs, but before he come downstairs, Javon laid it into Geneva. So, you mean to tell me that you named the child that you said that we said that we was gonna have together? We said we was gonna have a kid together, and we said that if we had a little girl, we was gonna name her Nika. All right. So you mean to tell me you went and had a baby with another man, with your husband, and you sure that that's your husband's baby and not mine? Cause that's like it's all coincidental. You know, the timelines is adding up. You know what I'm saying? And I said, oh, have mercy. So come to find out, they not only was having an emotional affair, they was having a physical affair. They were cheating on each other. At least he fell in love with her. Okay. And 9 out of 10, she fell in love with him, but she kind of shut it off and trying to act like she's not anymore and trying to make it work with her husband. This was during a time where they was doing IVF. She was trying to get pregnant by her husband, so it wasn't working correctly. And then, well, naturally, so they had to do IVF. So then Javon comes into the picture and they're getting their little thing in. And so that's why he feels like, oh, it's a possibility that 9 out of 10, Anika is their child. Yeah, because they wind up doing it around that time. Oh my goodness, Geneva, you are just, you are a lot, girl. You know, you are like, you're scandalous. And then they get into that whole situation where they was like, he's like, we said that we was gonna leave divorce our spouses and get with each other and all of that, and I divorced mine, and now I'm back because I came back for you. Listen, the way that he kept on calling, the secretary said he kept calling the office, right? Then he popped up at the office without asking, without speaking, without no notice, right? Then you pop up at the house. Granted, William invited you, but you still could have turned that down. Then you come into the function, the banquet, okay? Now it's just too much. Geneva, you're shitting bricks at this point. You know, you want him to get in a car with you and drive to the event together. I said, William, open your eyes. I cannot stand when somebody is just so blinded and just so lost in the sauce and can't see what's going on. All of this stuff is happening right in front of your face. You know that something is wrong with your wife, but you don't think it's that. You just think, you know, probably stress from work or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They're in the car getting ready to go. Well, they're in the car. And you have William up there suggesting that Javon sit next to Tiffany because she's single. She has her own money. She has her own business. She's doing this. She's doing that. And I would feel like y'all will hit it off. You need to get up with somebody, and you know, she divorced just like you divorced. All of that. Her son is in college and all of this stuff. And I'm just sitting here like, oh, snap. You don't know what you're doing. Geneva sitting up in that Tiffany. Now hold on, baby. You gotta calm down. You doing a lot. You doing a lot. I said, Geneva, just let it happen. Just let it happen. Meanwhile, she gets a phone call from the hairstylist and the makeup artist, Duffy, because guess what's happening over there at Naomi's house? Let me tell you something. Men can be so with people in their relationship can be so spiteful when it is over. I don't care who it is, but in this case, it's a goddamn man, all right? I hate to say it like that, but that's just really what it is. So goddamn trifling. Now, on the one hand, if the judge said you have to give all this stuff up, you got to give all the stuff up. Eventually, it's going to come home to roost, okay? They don't be playing about that stuff. But the way that they came over there to Naomi Place, the cops, his lawyer, to get all of that stuff that she was supposed to give them, I said, oh my goodness, that is just so wrong. You taking jewelry off of her fingers. You want the earrings out her ear. You want the jewelry out the safe. You want the paintings on the wall. You want the cards. Why are we doing this at night like this? Why are we doing this at night like this? Well, better, it's really no good time to do it. But, catching her off guard at night like that, she was getting ready to go to that banquet. Oh, my goodness. I felt bad for her. Because, girl, you embarrassing me in front of my crew, first of all. Because you know they going to go back and tell everybody. You, in no shade, especially the makeup artist. The makeup artist. The guy, I should say. Especially him, no shade. Because, baby, one thing about us gays, we like to gossip. So they gonna go and we already know. And it's no offense, no shade, but he gonna go and gossip because, baby, that's the same thing I would have been. Bitch, let me tell you what happened. I was over there at Naomi's house getting herself ready, and while we was over there, why did her ex-husband, lawyer, and had the cops and everybody come over there, take her jewelry, take the car, take this, give her that raggedy dusty? I said, bitch, that little whoop-de-whoop. I said, oh, no, that is so messed up. And being a lawyer, like, this is why I can't be a lawyer, and especially not no defense attorney or nothing like that, because the way that the lawyer was so smug and he didn't give no feelings, he didn't give no fucks about how she was feeling. And I get it because she's not the client, but at the same time, you are getting paid by him, so he's paying you not to give a shit. But at the same time, it's like, have a little ounce of like, I get that this is messed up, but this is the law, this is what we gotta do, this is what the judge came down. It wasn't an ounce of, I understand. Granted, the man was the one that did the shit. He cheated on her. He got another woman pregnant. And on top of that, to add insult to injury for Naomi, is a white younger woman too, right? And so, oh my God. And this is my thing though. I don't understand. Like, I don't want nothing that another woman or another person had in general. So you want to take the jewelry that I had, the earrings that was in my ear, the ring that's been on my finger, the watch that's been on my wrist and all that stuff. You want that and give it to your new wife, and her dumb ass gonna take it? And you're okay with that, wearing another bitch jewelry? Girl, please, okay? Have some coof and some self-respect about yourself. Baby, give me some new shit. Let that bitch keep that, because I guaranteed you, I tell you that. Let that girl keep that. It got her DNA and her essence on it. I don't want none of that. Give me fresh. Give me fresh off the factory floor. That's what I want, okay? Let me tell you. But she winds up calling, Duffy winds up calling, Geneva to let her know what's going on. Geneva finally get back with her, so she wind up telling, what's her name? Rashida, what was happening. And basically, they trying to talk her down. Girl, she at the liquor store. Now, this the same liquor store. If y'all been watching his shows, this the same liquor store that they used on Beauty and Black when the brother, the one that's married to the girl, not the gay brother, but the other brother, yeah, that he went to and he rolled off after he got drunk. Yeah, that liquor store. She was there drunk as hell too. Now, she come to the conclusion that, bitch, you know what? Fuck this. I was going to come to your banquet, but I don't even feel like coming. They messed up my hair. They messed up my makeup. They messed up my dress. You know what? I'm going to just go home and chill. That's what the fuck I'm going to do. They was like, whew, cool. Because at this point in time, they still don't know with Franklin showing up, okay? But we get to the banquet, and before we even get to the banquet, let's just go into what's going on in Rashida and Pastor Jeff's car. He don't like her ass. Okay? That's just what it is. When it gets to the point where I'm asking you, do you love me? And do you mean the things that you said to the kids about you loving me and you would never love any other woman harder than me and all that stuff, and you can't even repeat that, and then it get to the point where I say you don't even tell me that you love me, and you say, I do tell you that I love you. I tell you that every Sunday. Bitch, what? You're on a schedule. She said that's performative as fuck. You do that in front of the goddamn congregation. So you don't love her. You do not love her. And it is okay to say, I'm not in love with you. You probably still like her. You probably still got some love for her. But you damn sure ain't in love with her. Being in love and loving somebody is a difference, okay? All of that is a difference. It's levels to it. Man, just tell the goddamn truth. And then he wind up saying, well, you want to know what? Truth is, you nagging. You a nagging. Because she said, you don't even be around that much. We don't have sex. I said, bitch, I'll be pissed the fuck off. Now we get to the crux of the problem, okay? Baby, y'all ain't fucking. Baby, where in the Bible did it say to stop? It don't, all right? Listen, I would be concerned too. And you talking about she naggy and all this stuff. Well, you ain't digging her down and shut her up, all right? I know that sounds a little misogynistic or sexist, whatever, but baby, that's just what the issue is. She wants your attention, and you won't give it to her. You won't give it to her. Y'all are in a marriage, and you putting well, I got to be here for the church and all this stuff. Okay, but you got to also provide and be there for your wife. You got to be attentive to your wife. You say she being nagging and all that stuff. Well, get down to the bottom of why she being nagging. She nagging because you won't be there for her. You say she do too much, she talk too much, she this too much, or whatever. Well, I feel like that's the only way that she can get your goddamn attention. Other than that, you won't give it to her. You always out the house and you not fucking her. Damn. And she still love you. She still love his ass. Girl, wouldn't be me, okay? Would not be me. Because I feel like once the sex go, it's time to wrap it up. I'm sorry, we can love each other, but once the sex go, we can wrap it up. Because then at that point, we just friends. And I could be friends with somebody else, okay? You ain't got to live with me to be friends. You know what I'm saying? Again, they're putting up airs and appearances, okay? Y'all just cussed each other out in a Christian way up in that car. And then, you get to the banquet and you're acting like y'all, everything's all to the good. Oh, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Meanwhile, Bridget, let me tell you something, Miss Bridget. Get rid of that boy. Get rid of that boy. First of all, he's not even 30 yet. He is 29. He said he is about to turn 30 in 4 days. I am not all about respectability politics, but I do get a little, I'm not even going to hold you. When I see people in general, but when I see my people come in and just act a plumb fool for no reason, that is I get secondhand embarrassment. Because why are you acting like that? He all loud and stuff, being disrespectful and, just rude and shit. Like, everybody else is calm, even where, okay, got some little cool to ourselves. Why you so loud and all this stuff? And, oh, you over there? So you, oh, girl, that was divorced and all that stuff and all that. You the one that had the husband that cheated on you and everything. Baby, first of all, we pillow talk at the house. You don't bring it outside. We don't bring it outside because I don't give a good goddamn what nobody say. You can say that you don't be talking to that man. Whatever goes on with your people, you know damn well you be telling your boo, girl, let me tell you what happened, baby. Let me tell you what happened. You know it. Because niggas like to gossip and they love to hear that shit just as much as we do. Okay? And trust and believe. I do the same thing. I like to hear it. I ain't going to go back and repeat the shit. Okay? But I want to hear it and know what the hell is going on too. So I could be like, So we can have some shit to talk about when we come home. Like, yeah, girl, you saw that, right? Yes. Okay, that is cute. I like that. I don't give a fuck. We could be messy together, but not outside. Together inside, but not outside against Miss Company. We're not going to do that. He was just so goddamn loud, and you're embarrassed to be with him. You're embarrassed to be with him. He's childish as fuck. I'm a creator. I'm a creative, okay? Baby, real creatives don't do that. That's not what they do. You know what I'm saying? They don't come out there saying shit like that, just being ignorant as fuck, And I was like, take his ass home. And then wanted to take her car. She said, hell no. How I'm going to get home? Well, I don't know. I said, you can walk. Go to your mama's house because you're not coming back to mine. You know what I'm saying? And that little conversation, because at this point, Geneva had to get up and go to the bathroom, so she said, because she was very uncomfortable, because not only was Javon sitting next to Tiffany, Javon and Tiffany was actually hitting it off. They got the same holistic doctor. They both divorced. They both this and that. They laughing at each other. All of that shit. Geneva just like, ain't this about a bitch? I said, girl, calm the fuck down. Your slip showing. Okay? She had to go to the bathroom having a little panic attack and everything. Rashida had to come up in there and talk to her. Girl, at this point, she wound up telling Rashida, listen, girl, I didn't tell you that earlier this man came to my office. And then it shook me a little bit. It had me messed up all day. Then I come home and he is in my goddamn living room, bitch. Okay? And now he over there flirting with Tiffany and everything. And then he up here asking me about if the baby his. And, it's a possibility because, can I get pregnant from somebody else if I'm doing IVF treatment and it ain't my husband? Girl, yes. Okay? Yes. Rashida was looking like, ain't this about a bitch? She ain't want to say, God damn it, bitch. She can't cuss. She can't cuss. She first lady right now. But she was just like, I don't know. Okay. But, you got to calm down. Okay. We're going to have to calm it down. Everything's going to be okay. Tiffany bring her ass back there. And I was just like, child, this is some mess. Tiffany trying to see what's going on. But Tiffany really had to pee. Okay, but she also want to know what's going on. You can't tell me there ain't nothing going on when you sitting here looking like you on the verge of tears. Okay, what is happening? And she looking at Geneva like, oh, so now you want to hold out on me? She's like, girl, it ain't even nothing like that. I said, yes, it is like that. Meanwhile, peep this. So Myron is the one that's the first lady, not the first lady, but the pastor's right-hand man. That's what Geneva said, right? And so while they were sitting at the table before Bridget had left and told old boy to leave or whatever, he was sit at the table and Myra had got up to go check on something, but then he came and said back Pastor Jeff. Pastor Jeff and his wife were sitting together. But see, Rashida went up to go to the bathroom to check on Geneva, and then Myron came and sat in her seat. And then he just, they talking to each other, they laughing, okay, cool. And then, he get questioned about his suit jacket and all this stuff about old boy. And then when Rashida came back to sit in her seat, she looked at Myron like, what the fuck you doing sitting in my seat? And then he had her drink in her hand. And she said, wait a minute, did you drink my water? He was like, oh, no, I'm sorry. And he hurried up and got up. Now, at first, I didn't even realize that they weren't sitting next to each other until that moment. And the look that Rashida was giving like, what the fuck is going on? I said, oh, no, because Myron had came over there to sit down and tell Pastor that big money was on its way. Okay, because this whole banquet is about trying to raise money to either build a new church or expand on the church or whatever. They did get up there, give a little speech, and then, First Lady get up there. I did like the fact that she shaded her husband and said, well, he say I talk too much, saying I'm long-winded, so let me just give a little prayer or whatever. And then once she finished, she was like, was that short enough for you? When we mad, we gonna just do some shady shit all the time, no matter what. Okay? And that's just really what it was, right? And so that's why he was sitting there. But I mean, that's his boy. That's his homeboy, right? But he told old boy that his wife was the one that got him that suit jacket because Bridget's husband, little play toy, because that ain't no man. That's a little boy. He's a man child. That is. She was like, he asked him, I should say, where you get that jacket from? He said, I don't know. My wife got it for me. He was like, oh, see, Bridget, his wife, when he brought it for him. How much you pay for it? I don't know. Well, damn, can you just give me the cost or whatever? I don't fucking know. But I tell you, this is more than a goddamn gang system. Well, shit. Man, you can't be talking like that over here in front of the pastor. That's what got him up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, don't ever bring him back. He sounds stupid. He looked dumb. Okay, all of that shit, right? I know it's an exaggeration, but it was just really, he's just an irritating character, Vaughn. But at the end of the day, she gotta let him go. Okay, they can't be that good. I'm just sorry. It just really can't. I can't. No, sir. But then at this moment, while everybody's trying to calm down, Bridget winds up looking up and she sees somebody come through the door and she said, oh my goodness, it's Franklin and old girl. Okay, I said, He come in and of course Devon, Pastor Jeff, he's all up in his face. Oh, thank you for coming, and I'm so glad that you're here, and we need the money for this and da 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 da. We already know that you here. You want him there because you want him to spend that money. You got him talking about he just came back from London trying to close this deal up, open up this new firm and all some whatever the fuck. And then you got Lindsay there, that's the name of the woman, the new wife, okay, and talking about how I didn't want to come because I didn't want to see the dragon lady. Bitch, the way Tiffany and them got up and said, who the fuck you calling a dragon lady? I was here for Tiffany. Okay, bitch, you can talk all that shit that you want to because you by your man, but at the end of the day, you really ain't got no right to be pissed off at old girl. You got pregnant by her husband, so she has every fucking right to be mad. She has every fucking right to hate your ass and want to do any and everything to you. She do. And it be the audacity for the other person in a relationship that's the side piece to get in their feelings when the main person, the actual wife or the actual husband, is in their feelings and don't like them and don't want to be respectable to them and don't want to be cool with them or whatever and cordial and all that stuff. When you the one that came in and helped, you didn't cause the breakup, but you helped to continue to break up my family. You know what I'm saying? To break up my relationship. It was already cracks in the foundations and you just came through and just broke the whole thing, bitch. Like that was really messed up. And then why would you think that you was going to be okay with saying that shit in a room full of people that don't even fucking like you? Okay? And then, bitch, Naomi bring her drunk ass up in there. I said, let the games fucking begin. But I love it when Tiffany was like, no. Lindsay was like, oh, you see my earrings? He got me these 10 carats canary diamonds and all that stuff. Those was Naomi diamonds, right? And Tiffany said, oh, they cute, but they look better on color. They look better on melanated on brown skin. I said, I know that's fucking right, Tiffany. I know that's right. And truth be told, she's correct. It ain't even no shade to it. That just, it would the color, the brownness of the skin would make it pop. You know what I'm saying? Just like when you I love seeing a brown skinned woman or person, man or woman, in some like, really loud colors like orange or yellow, neon yellow, fuchsia. Some, that green that just pops on your skin. It just make it pop red. Like, come on. Come the fuck on. It just looks better on some melanated skin. And next thing you know, that's when Naomi brought her drunk ass up in there. I said, child, I knew she wasn't finna stay at home. I knew she wasn't going back home. She said, I finna start some shit. And I said, I know that the fuck right. Let it happen. It needed to. Because how dare you? And then it bothers me so much in these situations when the men who be cool with these dudes, they still want to be friends with the men that did all this shit. And I get it that y'all was friends before, but it's like we don't really see them on these shows. I don't know how it happens in real life. But you out here disrespecting your spouse like this, you're cheating on your spouse, you getting another woman pregnant, and then you bringing her through the mud in a divorce or whatever after you did all the shit, right? And you're okay with that, and you still want to be associated with them, and you still want to be cool with them and be friends and all that stuff. I couldn't be cool with a person like that. Maybe that's the difference between men and women. I don't know, but that was just really icky, especially the way that Pastor Jeff was all up in his face trying to get that money, but he about money, so there's that. But still, it was just icky on everybody's part. I was here for the women about to whoop that girl ass. But we had to be cool, calm, and collected for the moment. Because this is a church function, okay? This is a church function. But oh boy, Naomi about to turn it up.